Hello, everybody. We're back, and our special guest is Elvis. Because our special guest, we don't have a special guest actually today. So
Yeah, we just lied to you and just to
yeah,
hook you in.
well, it was planned, but something's come up as life does. They can't be like me and layabouts and do nothing all day and waiting. So
Sorry, I'm just covered in dog hairs. So hi everyone. It's pretty cold here if you're wondering about the cardigan.
you
I'm
said it
over
was 6 degrees Celsius, didn't you?
6 degrees. Yeah, no, it's freezing. It's raining as well. It's like really miserable.
Yeah, it's
Um,
16 here. So
I refuse to put on the heating, even though it's been capped here and whatnot, but yeah, so
they put the heating on here already. So when I go out in the hallway, it's like a sauna. But I think now somebody's actually putting a cabinet around the boiler, and it'll be locked up, so people can't fiddle with it like they do all the time.
yeah, it's ridiculous. So you don't have you don't have individual thermostats for your rooms?
No, no, it's just a central thing, and I've been here for I think it's coming up to 6 or 7 years. And when I first came in was February, and it was too bloody hot. I had to open the windows and turn the heat off, and it's never gone on since. The radiator, I've never had it on since then. Hi,
I
MJ.
am Jinx. Yeah, no, it's I don't know. I can't psychologically I can't put the heating on in September, however cold it gets. So
Well, the thing is, like, are you cold right now with the cardigan on?
a little because I haven't got any slippers on or shoes on. Just got bare feet. My toes are feeling the cold.
Yeah, my feet. I notice my feet do. I can feel that way. Well, Gerald's got everything sorted. Popcorn and gin.
Sounds like a good night in, Gerald.
Yeah, I was pleased with myself for finishing the Robots and Empire yesterday. It's been a long slog for that. Not because of the book. Like I said, hello. It's beautiful where I live, but I live in paradise for now until the snow shows up big time. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. Hi, Alexis.
79 and sunny here. I'm having a ginger beer.
You'll have to translate for me, Sean. 79. What's that roughly?
It's warmish.
Okay. So like 20 something, 23 or something like that, maybe.
Probably in the early 20s.
I know. Alexa, what's 79 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
79 degrees Fahrenheit is about 26.11 degrees Celsius.
Wasn't a bad estimate.
Robots, yeah. Well, I'm way behind. This is like 5 weeks behind. So don't feel bad. But yeah, the Robot City that's tough to get through because it's just so much of the same over and over again. Yeah, 22. Yeah, no, it's only 26. That's actually warmer than I thought it was. Because I thought 80 would have been like. No, I guess not. No, I guess that makes sense. But yeah. So, what have you been reading, Mark?
What have I been reading? Well, I finished the Black Hearts Book Club book pick, which was Jar of Hearts. It was a 3-star read for me on Goodreads. It was all right. I mean, it's very modern. I mean, you would hate it for sure. And I wasn't. I mean, it was a very easy read, but then I kind of lost interest and then went off to other things, and then I came back and Finished it quite quickly. The ending was a bit disappointing for me, but there you go. But yeah, it was all right. It was all right. I'm glad I read it. I mean, it was something different, and I'm glad I kind of pushed myself to read it. It's funny. I don't know if I'm becoming a bit of a prude, but I do find sometimes sexual scenes in books to be a little bit uncomfortable, like reading them. I don't know. It's just like weird. It's weird. Yeah, it sounds weird. I'm certainly not a prudish person at all. I can make dirty jokes, all kinds of things, but sometimes maybe it's just the way they're written. I don't know.
Well, I think that's it. Like somebody once told me, a story and characters in pornography, it doesn't work, and pornography in actual stories don't work.
Yeah,
So one or the other.
I mean, even though, of course, it's like a natural part of life, obviously people having sex and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the way some people write about it can be a little bit awkward. And I was like, it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't add anything to the book or the story. In fact, it takes it away as far as I'm concerned in the way that it's done, like in this particular book, perhaps. I'm trying to think of a good example of sex in a book, actually. It's very difficult.
Chains?
Sorry?
With whips and chains?
Yeah. Yeah, true. But yeah, I don't know. But so I finished that, and then I've made good progress with The Big Sleep by Raymond Chandler, which I'm really enjoying, and I'm very surprised at, actually. I didn't expect to have what do you call it? Again, well, not sex scenes, but like nudity and it being discussed in a book from 1939. And then like there's a part in it where this other guy says, "Go," and then there's like a line, "yourself." And I thought, it's very suggestive for a book that old to me. I didn't think it would be in there. Obviously these things were not in the film. Like I'm assuming. Yeah, but it's very good. It's very good. And as I was saying to you before we went on air, I couldn't imagine anybody else playing Philip Marlowe than Humphrey Bogart. Yeah, after the way he's set out. And I've also started another book, a book I'm reading also with Carrie, very literary Carrie. I think it's just the two of us reading this one, called Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury.
That's good. I should have reread that 2 years ago and I never got around to it.
Yeah, I'm only like 3 chapters into it, but I'm enjoying it. It seems pretty good. And then the other thing I've got to start this week or this weekend is Frankenstein. So I managed to track down an ebook version of the Norton Critical edition of the 1818 publication. So I'm going to start off with that before I look at any of the other annotated stuff. So at least in the Norton one, it's not, at least it doesn't appear to be like in your face like the other annotated works. So I can kind of ignore it to begin with, and then it's got a lot of supplementary material in it though.
They are good. Yeah,
550 pages, and yet I think the book itself is under 200 pages, isn't it? Probably Frankenstein.
Well, it's under 200, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm talking, and loads of people are commenting.
Yeah, to catch up. Todd World. There's a couple of good ones in the Robots and Aliens, but the rest of them are very much the same, sadly. You have allowed an Alexa in your house. Are you mad?
Like Steve talking. We're doomed.
With you, I read a romance book this week, and all the characters talked about and thought about was sex. More interest.
But that's kind of true sometimes. When you read all this modern stuff, it seems the only thing people are concerned about is getting their end away. Certainly with among certain age groups as well. I don't know. It's just weird.
Not really the two books you would think that sort of to read back to back, but
well, actually, I mean, I guess technically they'll be read simultaneously, so it's even more interesting, perhaps. So
yeah. I've got to do the The Big Sleep, and then I got to continue on with the Future History Project and other things before the end of the month. So hopefully I can do that.
And it's not long to go till we kick off with H.G. Wells, is it?
Yeah, that's next week. Yeah, I'll probably just wind up reading the one. I got to find my Norton Critical edition because that's it's in the Delphi, so I might have to read it from there. It's not that long. The Chronic Argonauts is the first story. Cowboys and Aliens? I don't know that one.
I remember it vaguely. I haven't seen it. I remember it coming out thinking, oh, that sounds weird.
That reminded me of what was the... It's with... it's something to do that they had to go back into orbit or something, and they brought all these... like Clint Eastwood, like all these old astronauts, they pulled them out, that were mothballed. And it was called Cowboys or something, wasn't it? Oh boy, trouble's arrived.
Hi, Steve. Well, it's good that you're, an open opportunities lay. Equal opportunities lay, rather. Sorry. What open opportunities? Gosh. Oh, dear. Yeah. Actually, it's a question for you, Steve. Can you name a book with a good sex scene in it that isn't cringeworthy?
Yeah, I haven't come across one. Because the thing is, like, there's some things you don't need to tell in detail so much. Both probably had tentacles.
Great. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except your memoirs, of course, Steve, right?
Which volume?
Memoirs of sexual exploits with cowboys and aliens.
Yeah, but what volume would this would be like? Casanova on overdrive. Oh. Oh wow. Thank you, Spectre. Thank you. Will that come up? Yeah, it will.
Oh, that's very nice of you, Spectre.
He denies it. Read.
Jesus.
Next thing you'll be talking about the sheep in Wales and rubber boots.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing,
Yeah.
MJ.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, it's not me, Steve. This is Sean's channel. Look at the next comment. This is actually quite amusing. I'm not taking the mick, Alexis, because we had Amy the other day who said she enjoyed Lord Chesterton's essay. But thank you. Yeah, it was G.K. Chesterton I read today. Sean reads Lord Chesterfield. It's a bit confusing. So probably you could have enjoyed both, of course, but you used my name there, so it was Chesterton, not Chesterfield. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, it was nice. I don't know if you saw it, Sean. Probably not, because it was not too long before coming on. But I did his one of his criticisms of H.G. Wells, actually. So.
start a COD channel, cash on delivery channel? Is there such a thing?
Of course it is. Isn't it? Your OnlyFans.
All the Chester. Yeah, well, that's the thing. The OnlyFans it's kind of dying at the moment.
Yeah, no worries, Alexis. Don't worry.
Hey, there you go. I'm a dude, bro. I don't know if that's an insult or a compliment.
You're probably like one of the ODBs, like one of the original dude bros, no? From the 18th century. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's no deal. This is funny.
Oh, Call of Duty. That's a COD. That's all I know is cash on delivery. When you send something COD. Maybe I could start the COVID channel.
Do we still have cash on delivery in the UK?
I don't know. I doubt it. It probably isn't anywhere anymore.
Oh, it's here.
Oh, it is?
It's here. And also, what's quite nice as well is you can have stuff delivered to the post office, and you pay at the post office for what it is you bought, which is kind of convenient, really.
So, do they pay for it or first?
I don't know how it works. Let's pop Elvis in there.
There's our special guest. He finally changed his
up. Yeah, aren't you? He's looking at some ball that he's dropped by my foot. So. Well, I don't know. I would be a bit more worried if he was over 30.
I have no idea what Call of Duty is, so I have no idea what that is. So.
It's a computer game. No, it's not a computer game. Or is it a computer game? I don't know. They probably play it on like a video game or a computer game, one of the two.
I've never heard of it.
Well, I don't know if that would be more exciting to watch them than us, though.
Oh, that reminds me. Is Monday a holiday here?
Yeah, Monday's a bank holiday and everything's closed, pretty much, apparently.
Yeah, because I got something I missed the post today, and it says Wednesday is the next delivery date, and I'm going, that should be Tuesday.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I used to play computer games, video games when I was a kid. I just don't have the interest in them as I'm an adult. I don't really understand a lot of adults who do.
I remember playing the cutting edge game Pong a couple times, but that was it, and it never thrilled me. I'm serious. It just didn't do anything.
I remember getting the old Nintendo Entertainment System when I was like 7 or 8 years old, and we thought it was the height of, technical achievement. It was just very amusing, like watching my mum play it, because she hadn't played anything like that before. She was holding the control, and it was Super Mario Brothers, and he like continuously runs pretty much across the screen. And of course, as he got close to the edge of the screen, my mum started to move with him until she was like, hanging off the edge of the seat. Yes. Sorry, Mum, if you're watching. Yes. Went all medieval. Yeah, because of the pomp and pageantry and stuff. We do that stuff quite well. I just question the value of it, really.
People are queuing for lining up for over 24 hours. What are they doing? Sleeping, standing up?
There were tents and stuff by the embankment and stuff by the river. Really? It was interesting. I have seen a few other booktubers have their response to the Queen's demise, and it's funny how people are afraid to say anything negative. I thought we live in a society where as long as you're not insulting, you should of course be entitled to your opinion. Whether you agree with the monarchy or not, and what better time to discuss it really than when you have a transition from one monarch to the other. So.
Well, somebody apparently, well, I was showing a bit of a thing because it's a bank holiday, but do people get extra pay for this, or do they lose pay, or do they have to take an extra days of their holiday? And somebody was asking this, and they said, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing things like that at this time." And I go, "Well, what better time is there? Because if poor people and working people are going to get screwed, that's the time to talk about it, And so I don't know what's happening. Like, do they get an extra day's pay?
Well, it depends, I guess, who you work for. I mean, I saw some people complaining the fact that they didn't, and also, their companies told them it has to come out of their annual leave allowance.
Yeah, see, that's bad.
It's terrible, But no, I haven't really been looking, Steve, at Twitter. I know Twitter's a bit more. I meant some people we know in our little booktube corner.
Meanwhile, the royal family is the biggest welfare family in the country. Basically, they get welfare, they get government funding as much as other people. So why are working people going to get screwed out of a day's work because of that? I just don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I had a student ask me the other day. He's in his 50s, and he thinks the whole thing's ridiculous in the 21st century that we have a monarchy, and he thinks that he's Czech, of course, so we have a president here. But he is saying he said everybody comes out and says what a great and amazing woman the Queen was. Yeah, okay. And he says, but and he asked me, can I name a specific concrete can I say any specific concrete evidence, give an example of an actual great thing she did? And I have to say I found it difficult. It's just one of those things, you have it rammed down your throat all the time. An amazing lady she is, she's great, but I couldn't necessarily think of anything that she's done that's great. Maybe
keep going. I'm going to get up.
Maybe Steve will be able to interject, but I mean a specific example. So there we go. Sean, the complete Orwell edition of The Road to Wigan Pier. Oh, okay, I guess Sean's going to check on that. Toddwell 3, does the Crown produce anything for income? Well, I mean, when you start talking about abolishing the monarchy, people always say, but they bring in money to the country. They are a big draw for tourism. I think that isn't as true as people say it is. I was reading something about it the other day. It's part of it, but I mean, I suppose you would still have the buildings, and you could still have the soldiers or whatnot outside those buildings without having a monarchy. Perhaps, I don't know. I don't know what else they do. Yeah, I don't know, Gerald. Holding together the British world, but she hasn't, has she? To be fair, I mean, not really. I mean, we're on the brink of a breakup of the union, maybe, and that kind of stuff. And I don't know, maybe it's controversial to say it, but I really do think she should have stepped down, abdicated a few years ago. I think she wasn't. Maybe she didn't have any faith in Charles. I don't know, but I think she might have done more damage, allowing someone like Boris Johnson to prorogue Parliament and allowing him to get away with lying to her, wasn't really a good thing. So there we go. What would be the point of talking about the benefits of a monarchy in a Republican cesspool like this? Well, but her leadership of the Commonwealth, I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe. Steve Donahue, if you are asking what concrete specific things has monarch X or Y done, you're thinking about monarchy wrong, in my opinion. Well, Perhaps indeed.
Just to go back to
I don't
Andrew.
know. Sorry, yeah, go on.
No, I just because I can't find the Wigan Pier volume, but the Homage to Catalonia, just this breaks up the whole conversation, but Homage to Catalonia has end notes in it, so I'm assuming that one does, but I just can't get my hands on it at the moment to check for sure. Andrew, sorry. So where were we up to now?
Well, we can move on. Look, I see there's a comment there from Ryan, which is pertinent to what you were talking about before we went on live.
Hi.
No, after that.
Yeah, somebody else that I know. Same thing happened very quickly. I don't know what's happening. So it does seem like something is happening.
Well, I had a strange thing happen, and actually it concerns you, Ryan. You probably saw that I liked one of your comments earlier from 3 weeks ago, and it was very strange. I had about 6 or 7 comments from 3 weeks ago that appeared in my having not responded to lists, which weren't there yesterday or previously. And it's just interesting. They're all from the same time, as I say, 3 weeks ago, and they'd all been edited at some point, yet they just appeared today. So it's very strange.
Yeah, so I don't know what's happened.
Saying there. On my June reread, I discovered of all things to survive from old Earth, coffee is still around in 10,191 AG or 23,352 AD if you prefer. Sorry, I'm off topic, but I just have to share. It's okay. Probably good to be off this topic. No one wants to say anything they regret. I really cannot say as a Yank, British people are the only ones who should be talking. Well, no, not necessarily, Todd. I mean, maybe Australians and New Zealanders and Canadians as well, of course, get some input.
Yeah. Andrew, when I do locate it, I'll email you in a little more detail of it, because I thought it was because I had it pulled out, I think, for a different reason, and it's not where it should be at the moment. But I'll email you with the details when I do find out. Let me see. Oh, so yeah, so they're getting rid of bots. Certainly wish they'd scrub some of my channel.
Only 3, Steve? I thought it would be much more.
It depends. Like one time, a video went up and I had 10, like within 10 minutes. I had 10 of them. So I tried.
German sexy links.
Can be anything, because what I usually try to do is because I had one go up at 5 and I didn't look. I usually check about 10 minutes after a video is scheduled to go up, just to make sure. I'm just checking now to see if I've got any. No, doesn't look like it.
Very strange. I don't know what's going on with YouTube.
Trades is, well, that's probably the best one to think about.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I said I lost a subscriber, and actually, it's funny because you can click on the videos and it tells you, and that one, the boredom of butterflies, lost me a subscriber, and you think actually it says subscriber -1. Who's going to be offended by that?
I'm trying to catch up here on the comments. Reading Hotspot, a book about the COVID response in Nashville, seemed like a good book to read while I have COVID. Yeah, well, hopefully you recover soon, Ryan. Yeah, I've seen a couple of your videos, and that's It's not fun. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but
Ryan says it later in the next comment.
it's a short for the shoutouts that sent so many people to my channel.
Well, they weren't people in the end, were they, Ryan? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. Is like every after about 10 minutes, the video's up. I always check purposely for that.
Yeah. I get annoyed when you get a notification and it says, "Oh, you've got a comment," and you look, "Yeah, it's nice," and you look and it's one of those sexy bot comments. It's like, oh, that's harsh, you know. Oh, that's good, Ryan.
But yeah.
Well, going back to the Queen, I was reading an article that they were saying that people have been posting like TikTok videos of like that had been doctored of like Camilla saying the Queen had been killed by like the COVID vaccine or something like that. You know, so it's like really, really messed up.
Yeah, well, it's weird. Like I put in like the detectives. You put in Dick in the title of your video, and it'll get flagged. It'll get flagged. So now when I put up the title of Philip K. Dick, I put DI asterisk K, because otherwise it's my videos are getting flagged.
I mean, what if you are a booktuber and your name's Richard and you go by Dick?
Then
And
you,
it's like
if you put it in,
book time with Dick, you know, for example.
You'll probably be banned.
That's terrible. It's maybe Russian. I can't translate it. It sits here. I'm not sure what it says.
Well,
That's
if there's
true.
no link, then there's no harm.
That's true.
I would have
If there's no
thought.
link, it would be all right. I missed that. Wieners. I don't know. Is it a Dick
Yeah.
reference? Oh, sorry. Maybe I'll get you banned, Sean. Sorry.
No, it's in the title. It doesn't seem to matter in the context of the video or in the description. It's in the title. And I remember I had one I showed I took the cover of the book and it was a female vampire. So it just looks like she's wearing like a skin tight um like 1890s bodysuit with an 1890s sort of figure. So you couldn't see anything on her breasts at all, just bumps, basically, wide hips, and it was flagged for pornography.
There you go. Guess that's pretty specific. Yeah. Not true. If somebody merely clicks on the channel posting those bots, they can infest their computer with malware. The responsible thing is to delete all bot stuff. Well, I do, Steve. I do.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, we know that some of our audiences are perhaps a little bit, what's the word? Not technically savvy, perhaps, and it's a good thing to do that. You know.
Yeah, well, I didn't think of anybody clicking on the actual channel name, but yeah.
So just got a notification. I think it's both. I mean, I'm always flagging people.
Is that short for flagellation?
No. Dear, oh dear. Yeah. Well, it's good, isn't it? It took us half an hour to descend into. Well, actually, we started off talking about kind of pornography, and then we've gone into it. So, Mighty King
Well, you before it were talking about reading the letter or getting the letters or writings of Humboldt. Oh no, it wasn't that, was it?
No, it was you brought up Humboldt. I was talking Alexander von Humboldt.
Who watches The Watchmen? Yeah. American censorship can be more Korean, all that.
Yeah, I can believe that. I can believe that for sure.
Huh. Well, I just can't believe that, like, you know, that video that I had the thumbnail of this female vampire on that was the cover of the book. Meanwhile, like, you go on TikTok and you see fashion ones wearing so-called swimsuits that just have black. It's like black tape, the width of black tape that goes across and under, and that's it. And
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you search for that now, don't you? Black tape bikinis.
Give me a second. I don't know. I don't know. As I say, I'm not too fussed by it all. I just think it's
Inciting violence. Okay.
Well, was it, linked to recent events or?
It is always funny that in every generation there are taboos that you can't talk about for certain things, and it's always been that way. But then there are other ones that are fair game, and you can. And in the past, it's been race or gender or size, and each generation changes, and they still have their own ones that are perfectly acceptable to make fun of.
Well, you never know how influential you could be as a booktuber, Ryan. Yeah, I don't use Twitter as much as I should, really.
Yeah, it's weird. Like everybody, like I must have been lucky when I was using Twitter a lot. I had over 10,000 followers, and I was following about 5 or 6. And I only had like once had somebody disagreed with what I said, and I just sort of laughed back, and they just disappeared. I never got the stuff that other people talk about. It was really weird. But on YouTube, I do get it. Because my email's there, I get emails from people that need to say something derogatory or put comments in. Like they have a burning need to do that, I guess.
MJ, I just rushed over and unsubscribed to get past the 666. I will subscribe after you get past the 6. Oh, that's funny. I just did the same thing.
Because maxims. That sounds familiar, but I can't place it. Can't place it, Andrew. Off the top of my head. Watch Life Force, which features a totally new, drop dead, gorgeous female vampire from outer space. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think book Twitter sort of started after I left, like about 4 years ago, pretty well. Not left. I still have an account, but my followers have sort of dwindled to about half or less than half of what they were.
Still quite a lot, though. I mean, it's more than you've got on YouTube.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It's a
and
shame
I hardly.
you can't get them to come over and subscribe to YouTube. Yeah, I can't watch it now. Annoyingly, I started it a while ago, and I wanted to go back, and I think I haven't seen the. I haven't. I think I stopped watching it just as Blackbeard was introduced. Maybe I might be wrong. And now it's not available here. It's not on. It's not on Prime. It's not on. What are the others? Netflix, and it's not on HBO. So
Is that a TV series? I take it then.
Black Sails, yeah, it's a bit of fun. It's set in the Treasure Island universe, about 20 years before the events of Treasure Island, I guess. But they bring in also real pirates, so it's like you find out how Long John Silver loses his leg, for example. There's Captain Flint. Then there's also Jack Rackham or Calico Jack and Charles Vane and people like that. So. Well, that's the thing, Ryan. Some of them are real, some of them are not. So it's good fun.
That's the way it is through Treasure Island too. Like
Yeah.
The pub or the inn is real.
Yeah.
So.
And I think they mention either Captain Morgan or Captain Kidd in Treasure Island as well. Whereas, of course, Flint is fake. Israel Hands was real. And some of the others. I mean, there was somebody Trelawney who was real that I think he's probably based on. So
It would be Captain Kidd, I guess.
Captain Kidd, that's right. Yeah, there's
what was he like as a kid?
There's the film Captain Kidd on YouTube with Charles Lawton as Captain Kidd.
Oh yeah, I remember
that. He's bloody brilliant, Charles Lawton. Though I have to say, I think he's a fantastic actor. Dear oh dear, time for the big sleep.
It's not. Well, I am tired, but it's to get a deep breath.
Yeah, Israel Hands was a real person, Ryan. So.
Oh, did I miss that? Sorry.
Yeah. Or maybe he wasn't real. He was real. Sorry. I've been watching Real Pirates recently. Sorry. Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. Well, you don't know that he was a bad lover to certain people. Maybe just his wife. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Ryan, go and read Pirates. It's Pyrates by George MacDonald Fraser. It's the same guy who wrote the Flashman novels. And he wrote it's a bit dated, but it's a bit of fun. He wrote a kind of send-up parody novel about pirates. And I think you might enjoy it. It's a good laugh.
I own one of his books that George MacDonald Fraser owned. That was from his library.
Oh, actually, one of his books.
Yes.
What is it? Is it one of his books?
No. Well, it's a collection of John Clare poetry, and that'll just set Steve off again.
Well, Steve's a man of good taste, as you can see there. So.
I've not read that. I don't think I've read all the Flashmans either.
I'm demanding next year a Flashman a flashathon, a flashmanathon. Sorry, not a flashathon. That might give Steve the wrong idea there.
Yeah.
Flashathon on our flashathon even on our channels. No, I think it would be great to read through the Flashman books. Jesus forgot to change his sail from black to white, so Dad flung himself into the sea, named after him. Lawton Rules. I haven't, but I should. Steve.
That sounds like something that Oscar Wilde would say.
What, the pen is mightier than the penis?
Yeah.
There was a place, wasn't there? A stationery shop called Pen Island. No. Yeah, Pen Island, I think it was called.
Yeah.
But of course, when you looked at the email, the web address, it looked like
Penis
Penisland.
Land. Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or it's just one of those legends.
Well, you do look at hashtags, and when
Yeah.
they don't put capitals in them, you could read it in many different ways. Several of them. Yellowbeard. Yeah.
Yellowbeard is good fun. Yeah, I haven't read it, Chris. I mean to. I think he's. I don't know. I just think he's great. I haven't read all the Flashmans either, and I really must. I think I would love to. Although Steve thinks it's not a good book, but I would love to start off with Tom Brown School Days, and then is it Tom Brown at Oxford, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Although that isn't related, I suppose, to Flashman. So you could just read Tom Brown School Days and then go straight into the Flashman series. So yeah, it would be kind of interesting to have a look at literary ships.
Sure, somebody must have written a book about it.
Maybe.
Probably some dissertation that's gaining dust or gathering dust on some university library bookshelf.
Well, I mean, from my side, not really. It's been a very relaxing day, although it's quite a cold day. I've done quite a bit of reading, which has been nice. So no, I'm actually all right. I think part of it is just maybe not a tiring day, but it's just being back in the whole what do you call it? The whole swing of work again. Having to go out to work and go to school, which is great, and I love it. But in the summer, I could take Elvis out at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I could go back to bed. Whereas now I go out at 5 o'clock in the morning or before, and I have to go straight to work. And I think it's catching up with me a little bit. Whereas you, Sean, are ill. So
Yeah, it's just the long COVID doesn't let go of you. It's breathing difficulty now again at the moment. Well, for the last week, almost.
I would make a Darth Vader joke, but you don't know who that is, do you?
He's dark or Darth?
Darth. Yeah, well, Elvis is a Czech. He's an Eastern Bohemian dog, and they get up. I mean, we go anytime between 4:45 and 5:15, and he's fine with it because he knows he can go straight back to bed, and he often does.
Well, that's about the time I have to go as well.
So there you go. So we go out, and then, as I say, he'll go back to bed, and he'll jump on the bed, which is, all his now because I can't go back there, and yeah. It's quite funny when I head out to work and I have to say cheerio to him, and he's lying in the bed, like, you know, kind of laughing at me as I leave. So, are you sure you're allowed out, Ryan, if you're COVID positive?
See you later, right?
No. I asked you to go at 7 this morning and 7:30. Well, you know what these girls are like. It's all right. It's Sean's channel.
God almighty. It's the most you've ever paid for a book. Well, when I was book selling, I've paid thousands, but
For a single book.
yeah. But that was for resale. For myself, I suppose the most I've ever paid was for a set. I think about £750 for a set of books.
How many were in the set?
So 18 volumes, I think. And the next price for those were well over £2,500 for worse condition. So what about you, Mark?
Well, I mean, I'm nowhere in your league. I wouldn't know, actually. What is the most?
Bit?
Sorry?
A threepenny bit?
Threepenny bit? Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever bought a valuable book. I mean, I've bought a book that's been worth more than I paid for it, and I didn't pay very much for it. But no, I mean, if I pretty much, I don't know, whatever a reasonably expensive book would have been from a bookshop. So probably, I don't know, 30 quid. You know?
No, because there's things that if you want it, you don't have much choice. You have to pay a price for it. If you can get a good deal, that's good.
For sure, I'm not. I mean, I'm not against it at all, and I would totally do it. But I haven't been in a position really. I mean, I've been here for 10 years. You know, I'm only 42, so I've been here for 10 years. Before that, I wasn't in a position to really go out and buy expensive books because one, I wasn't, living again in England, and also when I was, I didn't really earn a huge amount of money to make me think of spending money like that. So yeah, and now of course, with having to build a house, I'm very unlikely to spend a lot of money on books. So
yeah, the Easton Press stuff did some interesting things. I just found out today that they actually put out. I don't think they were signed, but a couple volumes of books by James B. Hogan and their science fiction line, which I didn't know. TypeScript for 500, Praise for 7,500. That's what you want. It's a good deal.
It's a good return.
You definitely paid 1,360 for Moby Dick. I assume, was that a first then, or?
I would say that was a good price for a first edition. Maybe no.
Yeah, I don't know really what the price is. Most paid for my collection, 25 or the Purple Land that England lost.
I've seen you talk about that book, Ryan. It does seem interesting. But yeah, I had no idea you would have paid $2,500 of your American dollars for it. What was it? Chris said that his brother-in-law sold a first edition of Lolita for 5,000.
5,000. Oh, there we go. 5,000.
Oh, there you go. He's telling you how much first edition Moby Dicks are.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1931 for still that.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like getting to the idea of like people will say, "Oh, I'm not a collector." I still sort of, I don't understand this. I'm not a collector. I'm a reader, and it's like, well, you've got more than 3 books on your shelf, so you're collecting those books.
And when does collecting become hoarding?
Does it?
Never.
I don't know. That would be. I guess somebody that would never ever get rid of anything, and like, and I suppose, yeah, if a person never ever gets rid of anything, then yeah, that would be a hoarder.
What do you make of Jason Harrigan's recent culling of his library?
Me, yeah, well, it's sort of was surprising, but yeah.
And I see Steve's done it as well. If you saw his video yesterday.
Well, he just moved it, I think. Oh, getting a lot here. I collect, and it's not hoarding as long as it's organized. Well, I don't know, because where's the thing? Like, it's like if you never got rid of anything and you kept every single thing that you got, like if somebody gives you a ratted paperback and you read it, like, would you keep that on your shelf in an orderly fashion? I don't know. When it's dangerous. Never becomes hoarding. But that's the thing. Like, if people say that a collector is somebody who buys for investment, well, that's not a collector. That's an investor. Those people are not collectors. People who buy a book for an investment is an investor. They're not a collector. People who will buy that book because they want that book is a collector. They might be able to afford $10,000 or pounds for a given book, and somebody else pays 50p for their books and puts them on the shelf. They're both collectors, no difference. And even the people who do pay $10,000 for a book will read those books at times as well, and some don't.
So it's the same for you when it comes to art as well. Then people who collect art, who do it for financial gain,
they're investors. They're investors. They're not really collectors. And anybody who does it, because that's the thing, they're investing in it for money. But if they buy something because they like it and they want that artist, and they're not, it's not because, oh, I could flip it in 6 months, or the person's on their deathbed, I'm going to buy everything I can get and then flip it once they're dead. That's an investor.
But what if you combine it though? What if you buy like multiple copies of the same thing because you know they're worth something, but you also want to keep one in your collection?
You're a collector and an investor. Like, to me, it's like they're simple things. But the thing is that when you do have books, like George Orwell said, you do at times. There may be times where life hits you badly and you need to recoup some money, and books is a way, or generally has been a way to do that. But if you go out to the pub all the time or clubs, that money's gone. You'll never recoup it. Or if you buy clothes,
books don't retain the same amount of value as they did in Orwell's day, do they? I mean, you're not gonna.
No, but you still the thing is, they'll give it this way: £1,000 spent in a pub or a nightclub, or £1,000 spent on books, and then if you don't destroy them, you can recoup something back from it. You can't recoup anything back from those times in the pub or the nightclub.
Well, you need to publish memoirs, maybe.
That's when things start dying under things. Poor Edgar. Yeah, he did get rid of a lot, but the thing is, like he says, he wants to move on to other things. So then that gives him some money to buy other books.
I mean, what would it take for you? I mean, would you ever get rid of 90% of your books?
Me? Yeah, I have done in the past.
No, but would you do it again?
I needed the money, or if something happened that I needed to. They're not sacred cows. Like, there's stuff, because I have gotten rid of stuff. I've had to sell stuff in the past because I had to. But until I have to, then there's no need for me to do it. But now, because I've accumulated so many over the last couple of years, with almost 1,000 that were given to me.
Not
That were
accumulated,
free.
collected.
Sorry.
Collected, not accumulated.
Well,
Nice that you have accumulated them. They were
yeah,
given.
but yeah, when somebody gives you 1,000 books, that's sort of accumulating very quickly in a year or two. And a lot of them I don't really want to keep, but I just have been too ill to sort them and separate them, and now that's happening slowly.
Is there a single book that you have that you own that you would never sell? Well, not never sell, but it would take a lot for you to sell it. Like they would have to offer you like a substantial amount of money.
Well, I don't know.
I'm not
Because
asking you to name it. I'm just wondering if
yeah,
there's
but the ones that I would really want to keep are not worth anything.
right.
That's the problem.
And that's
The
a
ones,
sentimental value, or what would be
yeah,
the reason?
because there's a few, because I've met the person and got it signed, and it's meant something to me, but it's not worth anything, really, at all.
Just need a bigger house, MJ.
Yeah. But if you can walk around, and if it's only you, then who's it harming?
Yeah, just walk around in your pants and.
I try not to collect everything, but a specific part of a collection. I didn't realize I was hanging out with millionaires. Well, everything that Ryan said is anybody who's working, if they prioritize, they could buy it. Like, do you need a car? You question yourself, do you need a car? Well, I can get by without a car. I can go by bus. I can save what, a couple $1,000 a year. You could buy a book for that, an expensive book. It's whatever priorities you have.
Go for it, Ryan.
I don't need every version of The Hobbit, just the best one for me. Yeah. But some people do like it. Actually, Chris, it's paper. People who collect newspapers and stuff like that is, and that kind of stuff is 99% BS anyway. So, yeah, that's the thing. You do have sentimental attachments to some books, and it can be like, well, Mark, yours, 3 Men in a Boat. Is that worth it? Like,
Nothing.
You would probably get rid of everything else before that one.
Yeah, I'll be buried with that one probably.
Yeah. Well, I would have got rid of that long ago if I ever had it. Memoir research, yeah. Yeah, yeah, he was. I think because of the pandemic and everything, probably, things change. That's getting into pop psychology stuff that it's like, wearing your socks is a denial of mortality. It makes just as much sense.
I don't wear socks.
Well, there you go. So you're immortal.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I was actually thinking about it after watching Jason's video. You can keep going through the comments, Sean. I'm kind of just talking out loud, but but I was thinking, yeah, I mean, you could just get everything pretty much on ebook, really. Save the space. It is the same. At the end of the day, it is the same. You're reading the same thing. I'm trying to get around that myself. Pants in this case means underwear.
Well, lots of things are more important than books. Safety, food. I don't think that's out of control if that's what you want. Like, if you don't have enough space, then you have another space to put your stuff. It's just It's just like moving to another bigger house, but it's cheaper.
It's
And
funny.
if it's some stuff that you put in storage.
It's funny how you talk about people and then they appear in the chat. His ears must have been burning.
All you need, yeah, the 1911 Encyclopedia Britannica.
No,
You
Jason's just
probably
appeared
sell your
in there.
collection and go retire. I wish. I wouldn't be able to get much for everything I have here because I've never ever bought thinking in money and in resale, and that's a problem.
But remember, Sean, if you retire on that tropical island, you can only take 8 books with you.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Well, it's a bit harsh that he's excited about it, though, Todd World. See you, MJ.
See, any books for sale? I've got a few, Jason. Many first editions. If you believe that. God, there's so many comments tonight. Yeah, well, that's the thing, bibliomania. But what is that? It's people buy an expensive car, and where you need just, I don't know, just a jalopy to get by on. Why do people buy a Mercedes Benz? You don't need it, but people do, and that's socially acceptable. But to have a collection of books and not the Mercedes Benz is not socially acceptable. Why? Or have a Beverly Hills style house, or something else that's just cheaper, more remote, and can house your books.
You haven't given away your books, Ryan? Oh, well, you could send them to Sean.
Oh, yeah.
I'd probably have to pay to receive them the way things are here at the moment.
Well, I did have to. There was about 200, and there were I had to basically take them all, and I knew there was about 50 or 60 film books I wanted, so I had to take them all, and it only cost me £20 for shipping to get them all. So I thought that was a good deal because the books that I wanted, but they're still here. The other ones that I don't want are still here.
Mm.
And that's a problem, after, and people see piles here. Yeah. But that's sort of piles that are beginning to be sorted. And I don't understand why everybody seems to think that they're going to fall down. There's no earthquakes.
You really got to sort out your pile, Sean.
Yeah. I have to sort out
Very
my
uncomfortable. Hang on,
Jason still.
Did we skip Steve's Desert Island books? Speaking of Desert Island books,
actually, Andrew, I probably would probably make a profit on that because of what I paid. There's a few that I paid a little over $7.99, but most I paid like £3 something for because I was lucky. So yeah, selling them at $7.99 would, well, no, that's pounds that I paid, but I'd still probably make a profit. Small profit, but a profit.
I thought you were accepting the offer there for a second.
No.
Because yeah, probably.
But no, I won't accept it.
Oh, we'll have to check and see what they are, Ryan. When is that coming up? Well, I suppose you can't say, can you? We don't know when.
What?
The next episode of Desert Island Books is tomorrow, isn't it? But you can't say who it is, of course. So
no.
Actually, I know.
But everybody who's part of the like the membership that's from Foundation and upwards are having free previews of it at the moment until tomorrow afternoon.
Are they now?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And well, that's the other thing, because I didn't know. Like, I don't make videos. Like, I sometimes make videos ahead, but the thing is, like, do people want to watch everything, like my 1-minute videos, or just those? I don't know. See you, Ryan.
Bye, Ryan. You should get Ryan on there when you start up the season 2.
Well, I'll be starting soon, like as soon as I get my.
But I
puff.
can tell you what the 8 books will be already. Moby Dick, 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 Jaws. Just a joke, Ryan. He's gone anyway. Doesn't matter. So
Wow.
Steve's got an episode coming up at some point, has he? That'd be interesting.
Where does it say that? Who says that?
Steve's saying it. He
Steve
says
saying it?
he's saying surely there's a sexy episode coming up soon.
Oh well, yes, there is, but you know,
And then
I don't.
Alan said, "Yeah, really sexy," and then they're arguing about who's the sexiest.
I'm not sure when because
Bye,
Steve
Steve.
was pushed
Popping
back.
in. We've got to sort out the warden. The last chapter. Touch me up. Send me a message.
Oh, don't.
He's gone. He didn't hear it. It's all right.
Can't remember when Steve's is. Should be coming up in a few weeks. Let's see. If Steve, you're still here, hold on a second. I'll tell you when yours is slated to go because it's come up. If I can find it. Steve, yours coming up on the 2nd of October.
Blimey. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only 2 weeks.
Well, there's 2 before it. There's tomorrow's and the next week's.
Gosh, we're going to be in October already. That's crazy.
But yeah, as soon as I get my puff going again, then I'll be starting up doing more. I've got quite a few that are interested.
Yes, I did. Good grief.
But tomorrow's is very, very interesting, I will say, because they're not a booktuber per se. So, but they are a professional jazz singer. That's all I'll say. Nobody will know who it is.
Well,
unless
one person might know. Well, at least one person knows who it is.
Me.
Well, 2 people on this live know who it is, at least. But I haven't seen the episode, in case anyone thinks I get special treatment. It's just that I helped make the thumbnail for it, I think, didn't I?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like somebody said to me, they said to me that I make good thumbnails. And I said, well, it's not mine. They said, oh, I'm very gracious to give somebody else credit. And I go, well, they take the blame too if somebody doesn't like it.
Exactly right. That's right. Steve guessed who it is.
She's a jazz singer?
Oh, I don't know. Who is she?
Isn't she the daughter of the old ex-chancellor from Germany?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's a good one, Alan. I was thinking the same.
But no, it is a good one if anybody's want. But there are some long ones coming up. That's the thing in late October.
Well, we know there must be a really long one coming up at the beginning of October after what we've just been talking about.
No, actually, it's not. Surprisingly, not.
No,
it's not. It's not.
Wow.
But there is one
Blimey.
that will break a little corner of BookTube when they see the end of it. That's all I'll say. At the end of October, it'll break this little or a little corner of BookTube.
It will break it like in a good way, or?
Yeah, in a good way.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's tomorrow on my channel at 5 p.m. British, or what is it? British summertime, 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Mm.
And that's every Sunday. There's a Desert Island Books episode. And you didn't do Steve's thumbnail. That was Michael K. Vaughan.
That's right. You had a special guest thumbnail designer. I'm just trying to look through because of the thumbnails. You sent me the upcoming thing, and now I'm really curious who it could be at the end of October. So I'm trying to spoil it for myself.
The end of October is Houdini's death anniversary. Yeah. Well, it's the 30th. Is it the 30th?
Oh, you got Frankenstein.
Yeah, 30th. Sorry?
You got Frankenstein in to do it. Because the end of October is Halloween, right? So maybe you got some scary monster in to do it.
No, it's almost two. There's another one that. See, that's the problem. When you get to like, there's certain things that you get topics and they could go over. So there's two that are really long, extremely long, double the length. So you get double your viewing pleasure. Yeah, everybody calls them interviews. I guess it's an interview. I never really looked at it as an interview. But I suppose it is. But thanks, Alan.
Okay.
Don't say anything if you figured it out.
Oh, come on. I'm not going to say anything, am I?
But I think it will break a certain corner of BookTube, and especially if they see it.
Yeah, I think I know.
Because they've been waiting for a long time.
I could see Steve as a 19th century chimney sweep. With his blimey governor.
What? Oh.
Yeah. I'll vox you later, Jace, with the answer.
See, that's the problem. It's Mark. He doesn't get to watch them, but
that's it. I have no idea. But I have an inkling just because I can see who it is. But I could be completely wrong. But it's so funny. I was looking at it, and of course the person before that person, I was like, "What are they going to do? That's going to break."
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, you got to do the thumbnail for that because you got to do my thumbnail, and then you got to do that thumbnail, and you got to do the other thumbnails as well.
Yeah, I will. See what a slave driver he is, everybody. Forces me into this. I don't know.
And mine's a special thumbnail.
I can't remember what it is, but I guess am I doing that one?
Yes. I hope so.
You haven't done Mark yet, have you?
Mark Richardson?
Yeah.
No, not yet. I'm still trying to. I've got there's about 8 or 10 that are all sort of out there, but I just haven't set firm dates yet because I ran out of time last month. Then at the moment, I just don't want to do it like this.
Well, let's just say it's not been created yet more than it's been planned. Oh, actually, I've done something with you, Alan. I haven't sent it to Sean yet, but I haven't finished it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, they're all pretty good, and I thought I was a fetching last week. I thought I was a fetching Elizabeth,
They're good fun. They're good
and
fun.
actually the best, the sexiest Tinkerbell that you could ever find the week before.
I think though I have to say one of my favorite thumbnails, just because it just looks bizarre, is I don't know if you saw it when I did the announcement with Steve for the warden, and they have the warden sitting in his chair like this, gazing up at his daughter, who's gazing down at him. And
Oh yeah,
I don't know, it just cracked me up because I managed to capture Steve in like a just strange expression and cut out his face from the thing and stick it on, and it just made me laugh. So I don't know, Alexis, what promise is this? We should.
I need a copy of.
This is what you. This is what we have to make money on, Sean. We have to get people to bid on what we're going to read for Christmas.
Well, the button's down below.
No. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to read The Hobbit in December.
Well, I guess that sort of makes it for us that we're illegals.
It does shock me. There is so much I haven't read though that are like booktube.
Ooh,
Staples. There is almost sometimes you get the feeling there is a kind of a booktube canon, isn't there? Really, of what you feel like you have to read, otherwise you're outside the club. So there is a good event coming up in November, which I will be involved in. Actually, I'm very much looking forward to that. Sorry,
there's two good ones that are coming up in November.
What else is there?
There's the Hal for the Holidays. Hal Clement, reading Hal Clement.
Am I in that one?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I know it was mentioned yesterday what one of them was, but I don't know if I can actually mention anything yet about it. I don't know.
Well, there's quite a bit for October.
Well, yeah, there is. I was looking at all these Victober things and I'm thinking, well, do I want in? Part of me is thinking of really dropping a lot of these reading things and concentrating on reading the books I have to read, like getting through the Lord of the Rings, Wars and Peace and Anna Karenina and Les Miserables and Moby Dick and Don Quixote and all that stuff.
What I've been doing is I've got a huge list of stuff that I want to read or reread. So when something comes up that has a book, then I jump on it if I can.
See, I have a problem with this one, Alan, Nonfiction November, because I adore nonfiction, and I think it's kind of sad that it only gets a month really out of the BookTube calendar.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Jason, that you probably and he'd probably be interested in some of his more academic writings. Tolkien's nonfiction books. Yeah, it looks probably, yeah. We'll go back here. One of the friends had a guest professor from England, Noon Tolkien, and commented that he was a boring man. Probably. Two different translations next year. Ooh. But yeah, that's what I do is like if somebody does something and they're books that I either haven't read or want to reread, then I'll be reading something else anyway, so I might as well read those. So a lot of times it's not reading something outside that I normally wouldn't.
I don't know. I'm thinking about,
Like,
the whole issue with rereads. I think it's going to have to be a special thing for me now to reread a book. Like, really special, because there's just too much new stuff I haven't read. And by new, I mean I haven't read it before. Not that it's necessarily new, just new to me. And I think that's, unfortunately, some of these rereads, as much as I enjoy them, are taking away the opportunity to read stuff that I haven't read before.
yeah, well, it depends on whatever you want. Like for some reason, after the beginning of 2021, I've just decided to. I don't know why. It's just I just want to reread with a few things that are not rereads in there. And I've started a new thing, like to read a new book, something that's newly published, and that'll be coming up in the next week as well as the one nonfiction. But then also I'm doing that kids book thing, and I'll be doing a video once I get the books. I got a number coming, and I'll be reading. I'll put up a vote thing for a thing on the community tab to vote for which one to read first. So I'll be doing stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't know. I just wanted to reread. I just can't explain it.
I mean, I will reread something next year if it's part of like, for example, with H.G. Wells, right? I will reread The Time Machine and Invisible Man and something else, because we're going through his whole works. To me, that's all right. But I'm not going to randomly reread stuff now. I think not next year. I'm going to make sure I crack on with some of the big things that I haven't read yet.
No,
That's
that's
the plan.
fine.
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud, really. What is this? We have to complete the sentence, Chris. Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings on a beer mat. How would you finish the sentence there?
Tolkien wrote The Lord of the Rings on, I don't know,
Toilet paper.
On drugs.
On drugs, yeah, maybe.
Wells wrote 8,000 books. Oh, probably close to it. But his fiction is a little more accessible. He wrote about 50 novels or so, and not that many short stories. So it's
but to be fair, his novels aren't exactly, long and time consuming, are they? Huh?
And they're not War and Peace.
No, they're not. So,
but yeah, no, that's the thing. It's I'm really enjoying the rereading so much on everything that I've done, and like, who knows? I could wake up sometime next year and say I'm done with rereading. I want to read stuff that I haven't.
I'm not. I'm certainly not committing to never rereading again. I'm just thinking I'm going to make a conscious effort next year to reread less and read new things more. That's what I'm going to do. And and also I want to go back to authors I like and read other stuff by them. So, like with the misplaced authors thing we're doing, I'm not going to reread something that I might have read from them. I'm going to read something new. So,
see, that's the thing. Most of the stuff, a lot of the stuff I've read, a good chunk of those writers. Not all of them, but I've read quite a bit of the stuff. So a lot of it is rereading for me. I'm going on 15. But yeah, it's that's the thing, and like somebody said earlier, to read what you want to, and that's the thing, yeah, and some people do that, and I only reread a few books. Like, there were a few things that I reread over the last, up until like basically 20 at the end of 2020. there might have been a dozen books that I ever reread at
Mm,
most. But now
mm.
it's like almost everything I pick up. I would say 90% is rereading. Um, and but yeah, it's like some people are dictated, like they do get dictated by book two, and then they say, oh, they hate it because they feel like they're obliged to read stuff. But again, you just read what you want. And when somebody does something like Michael K. Vaughan's doing the Edgar Rice Burroughs read through, and it's like, oh, crikey, I want to reread all that. But I don't have. I'd have to read it all on ebook. And I'm not sure if I'm prepared to do that because I'll have other stuff to read on ebook.
Hmm. Chapter 13, I think. Still not super far in, but I am enjoying it. I'm just trying to finish off some shorter works. I'm going to finish hopefully either tonight or tomorrow morning The Big Sleep, which is what my big Dick Timber book, I suppose. And yeah, and then I'll be able to concentrate on it. But it's good. It's really good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, the Big Sleep, because that'll be, I'm going to return or try to return to the book to film. And the first one will be The Big Sleep.
Thanks, Alan. Yeah, I agree, Spectre. I think you do notice on rereads, and it's fantastic. Like I love rereading some books over and over again, but I'm just thinking consciously maybe of like dedicating at least a bit of time to discovering new things that might become favorites. I'm not ruling it out. I'm not absolutely not ruling out rereads ever again because I do enjoy them, but I'm just thinking they do take up time that I could use to broaden my horizons. It's like this shorty September thing. I kind of wish that I thought about it and maybe took part in it because I like the idea of reading these 30 books or whatever in 30 days of September. Reading a book a day, and they're little books, and I'm just thinking, yeah, it could be really interesting.
Yeah, because I've got, it would have been perfect. I don't know how many there are, but there could be 30 or close to it. The Penguin Modern Classics little books, they're little thin ones, and that would have been perfect. That would have been perfect for it. But yeah, no, I agree with Alexis that yeah, like a lot. That's a main reason why I stopped reading a lot of new stuff because, and it's not because I'm opposed to it, but it's like there's so much old stuff either that I haven't read or that I want to reread. So that's where I'm spending my time. But I thought of something interest, then I would try maybe once a month a short book, something that's newly published in the last, say, well, this year, say, last 6 or 8 months.
Wow. Yeah, but you haven't really been challenged on that so far, have you? I mean, the first
Well,
book,
that's the
the
thing. It
first,
was the
the
first
first
one.
book is literally like the only book published this year that you would have picked up on your own, probably.
Yeah,
So it's just lucky someone was really kind to you.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do some research and get you a book from this year.
Well, as long as it's not too big, like I don't want something 500 or 600 pages. If it's under 300, preferably 250 or so, just so if it is something I don't like, I don't want to spend a huge amount of time.
Yeah, but the thing is, sometimes a 500-page book of something that's awesome might actually take less time than a 200-page book of something that's a piece of
That's
crap.
true, but I do have something that I should be doing in October if I can already. So that is one. It was bought for me. It's called The Empire of the Vampire. That's about 500 pages.
Oh, I've heard about that. A lot of people read that
Yeah,
recently.
that was purchased for me, and I sort of thought in back of my mind, I'll leave that for October, so I don't have to worry about October's one. That one's already chosen. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I was
Yes, I
watching.
do
I
want to read.
really. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. What?
I've been watching a Heather from Soggy Expat Book Nerd. I really like her vlog style videos through Shorty September. Very entertaining. And she was reading. She read 2 books that were. I think they're part of a series. They're thin ones, of course, because they're Shorty September ones. But they're part of a series on Scottish history. And I guess they're historical fiction novels of it. And she was talking about one of them, Rizzio, yeah, the private secretary of Mary Queen of Scots. It was about his murder and stuff like that. And I thought it sounds good. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, some of the stuff she has read, I thought, oh, that sounds like totally not up my street at all. But other stuff, I thought, yeah, I wouldn't mind reading that. And I feel I'm sometimes missing out on things, yeah, by not broadening my horizon.
Alan, I do want to read that book because I think it was Amy that talked about it like several years ago. And I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. And I'd sort of forgotten about it. Then I came across another booktuber that mentioned a book that it turns out the same author wrote about elephants that I've wanted to read. Is it her? What's her name? Delia Owens, I think. And I connected the two, and I go, well, maybe that's why I should read those. But that's old now, though, isn't it? That's several years old. That's an old book.
It's not that old, is it?
Yeah, I do. That is on the list. Well, on the list, like in my brain of what I want to read. When reading new books and rereads, I tend to read each on different days. Like new books first half of the week, reread second half. Yeah, I think you've mentioned that before. That's an interesting way to do it. Yeah, Delia Owens. The film. Oh, is there a film about it? Oh, okay.
There you go. You got a future book to film even to do.
Yeah. Well, even the kids stuff, because the books that have been for my second childhood book quest, the Parent Trap was mentioned. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I heard some real slap back on the Crawdads book recently. Don't really care. It sounds interesting to me. I'll read it and sort of make my mind up whether I like it or not. How many years was Helen and Troy? It was a 10-year war. So was she there to the whole 10 years, or was she there at all?
I don't know if that makes me want to see it more or less, Alan.
I know the name, but I have no idea who she is as an actress.
She's Legally Blonde.
Okay.
I'm sure you have in your collection.
Oh, is that the name of a film?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Well, you look pretty beat, Sean.
Yeah.
I have to crack on probably too. So, shall we call this an evening?
Yeah, I think so. And maybe just give a couple minutes if anybody else has some last minute burning questions. No? Okay, bye.
We're glad to have you, Todd World.
Yeah, thank you.
I do wonder what happened to Todd World 2 and 1, though.
Yeah, it's take your time with the city books. I think the Robot City ones, they're not the best, but the good thing is they're short. Well, enjoy your football
weekend, Alan,
and have a good weekend, Spectre. And
yeah, have a good one.
or long story about one and two. Thanks, Alan. So we'll see you next time, Wednesday as our usual, and hopefully we'll be back next Saturday with a guest.
Yeah, and you might. I think you might be on mine next on Wednesday, probably.
Oh yes, yeah. Are you've renewed?
I
See,
think I
Elvis
renew.
wasn't a very good guest.
I think I renew on the 20th. So yeah, should be.
So that's Wednesday.
So you'll be able to take a rest from presenting for a week.
So I'll see everybody. We'll see you later. Take care, everybody.
Bye all. Take care.
Bye.